Have you ever felt like your soul is being drained, as if something invisible is stealing your energy? Know that this sensation of inexplicable disconnection is more than just tiredness or sadness. There's a world beyond the visible, where subtle forces can profoundly impact your spiritual existence by undermining the essence not only of your body but also of your soul. Just as the body can be wounded and fall ill, your soul is also susceptible to attacks. Imagine an invisible arrow, shot by negative forces, finding its target at the core of your being. You walk with the light of the chosen ones and possess a radiant soul destined for great purposes. The issue is that this same light also attracts shadows seeking to extinguish it. Have you ever felt lost in inexplicable conflicts or immersed in negative thoughts without apparent reason? Recognizing these hidden signs that your soul is under spiritual attack is essential for your protection and the fulfillment of your life's mission. When the soul is attacked, it's not just your well-being that's at risk, but also your ability to radiate the light that the world so desperately needs. The chosen one is a beacon amidst the darkness, and precisely for this reason, it's targeted by forces that seek to dim its shine. Feelings of despair. Despair is an overwhelming feeling that sometimes settles into our souls, being more than just a natural response to life's adversities. There are moments when despair seems to emerge out of nowhere, enveloping us in a dense fog of darkness. This is the first sign that a spiritual attack may be underway. It's crucial to distinguish between despair born of external circumstances and that with spiritual roots. Natural despair, though painful, is often linked to specific events, like loss, failure, disillusionment. Spiritual despair, on the other hand, is more insidious. It arises without apparent cause, like a shadow silently infiltrating, corroding hope and faith. In the spiritual journey of the chosen ones, despair can be a powerful weapon used by negative forces to divert you from your path. This feeling can paralyze your will, weaken your resolve, and obscure the vision of your higher purpose. It not only disturbs your inner peace but also diverts your focus from your spiritual responsibilities and life's mission. Recognizing the spiritual origin of despair is a crucial step in combating it. Practice introspection and meditation, seeking signs of an origin that transcends the material world. Question the nature of your despair, if it seems disproportionate to your reality or arises without concrete reason. If the answer is yes, it may indicate a spiritual attack. To restore hope and protect your soul, it's necessary to cultivate practices that reinforce your connection with the divine. Prayer and contact with nature are powerful paths to rekindling the flame of hope. Seek spiritual deepening with a focus on your divine awakening, and the light of your soul will shine so brightly that it will dispel shadows from your path. Unexplained interpersonal conflicts. Unexplained interpersonal conflicts are more than mere everyday disagreements. They are spiritual battles fought on the invisible field of human relations. For the chosen ones, whose mission depends on harmony and inner peace, these conflicts arise like sudden storms, sowing discord and chaos where there was once understanding and unity. They are a clear sign that negative forces are attempting to destabilize your spiritual journey, weakening your bonds of love and trust. These inexplicable conflicts arise without apparent reason, turning small differences into major misunderstandings. The energy that once flowed harmoniously between you and others now seems laden with tension and misunderstanding. It's as if an invisible shadow is manipulating the threads of your interactions, creating frictions that didn't exist before. This disharmony not only disrupts your outer peace but also shakes your inner balance, diverting you from your purpose and weakening your light. Spiritual attacks often manifest through interpersonal conflicts because they know that by sowing discord, they can isolate you and undermine the support network essential for your spiritual strength. Distrust grows, and communication becomes difficult, leading to distance and loneliness. These conflicts drain your energy and divert your focus from spiritual practices and connection with the divine, becoming an obstacle on your journey. To identify the spiritual origin of these conflicts, observe the recurrence and intensity of disagreements. Notice if they arise suddenly and repeat themselves, regardless of your attempts at resolution, or if these conflicts seem disproportionate to the situations that originated them. The feeling of being misunderstood or that others are against you, even without a clear reason, is a strong indication of negative spiritual influences. To resolve these conflicts, it's crucial to cultivate understanding and empathy. Practice open and honest communication, and be willing to forgive and ask for forgiveness. Additionally, spiritually protect yourself through prayers, meditations, and energy protection practices. Engage with your spiritual community and seek guidance from mentors and spiritual guides. Visualizing a shield of light surrounding you in your interactions can help block negative influences and restore harmony. Distrust and paranoia. These feelings not only obscure your perception of reality, but can also undermine the foundation of your relationships and the peace of your soul. Spiritual distrust and paranoia differ from natural feelings of caution and self-defense. They emerge without concrete reasons, growing like weeds in the garden of the mind. You may start to doubt the intentions of people around you, suspect non-existent betrayals, and misinterpret innocent gestures. These feelings are treacherous, planting seeds of division and fear that can isolate you and weaken your soul. Negative forces know that by sowing distrust, they can isolate you from your spiritual community and weaken the bonds that sustain you. Paranoia erodes trust, which is the cornerstone of healthy relationships and faith in oneself and others. It's a tactic intended to destabilize and create an environment of constant vigilance and tension. In addition to feelings disproportionate to some situations, you may have a persistent sense of fear or anxiety for no apparent reason. You may also want to isolate yourself from others, and have a constant difficulty trusting even the closest people. These feelings of distrust and paranoia can be devastating, creating a barrier between you and the people you love. Constant doubt erodes your relationships, creating a chasm where there were once bridges of trust. Your mind, once a sanctuary of clarity and purpose, becomes a battlefield where negative thoughts struggle to prevail. If you notice that these thoughts of distrust arise in moments of spiritual vulnerability, such as during periods of high stress or when you are about to undertake something spiritually significant, imagine yourself enveloped in a divine, purifying, and protective light that dissipates all this darkness and fear. Loss of faith. The loss of faith, that sensation that your belief is slipping away like sand through your fingers, is one of the most challenging signs of a spiritual attack. For the chosen ones, whose faith is the compass that guides their journey, recognizing and combating this sign is vital to maintaining the course of their spiritual mission. Faith is the foundation that sustains the soul in times of uncertainty and difficulty. When this foundation begins to crumble, it's not just your belief that's at risk, but also your ability to see the greater purpose in your life. The loss of faith can arise subtly, like a persistent doubt, or abruptly, like a deep spiritual crisis. This sign is a clear indication that negative forces are trying to divert you from your divine path. For the chosen ones, faith is an endless source of strength and resilience. Without it, the inner light weakens, making it harder to resist adversity and find meaning in daily experiences. Negative forces know that by undermining your faith, they can weaken your entire spiritual and emotional structure. Recognizing the loss of faith as a spiritual attack involves a deep look into your doubts and uncertainties. Ask yourself, did these doubts arise from specific events or do they seem to invade your mind without clear reason? Is there a sense of discouragement and hopelessness accompanying this loss? If so, you may be facing an attempted spiritual attack. To restore and strengthen your faith, it's essential to return to the practices that initially nurtured your belief. Recall the moments when you felt the presence of the divine most intensely. Read sacred texts, participate in rituals, and surround yourself with people whose faith is unwavering. Meditation and prayer are powerful tools to reignite the flame of faith, allowing you to reconnect with the divine source of all belief. Additionally, seek testimonies and stories from others who have faced crises of faith and found renewal. These accounts can serve as inspiration and proof that faith can be restored, even in the most difficult circumstances. It's important to remember that faith is a journey, not a destination. It may falter, but it can also be rebuilt, becoming even stronger than before. By recognizing and addressing the loss of faith as a spiritual attack, you not only protect your soul but also strengthen your commitment to your divine mission. Your restored faith will be an even brighter beacon, guiding you and illuminating the path for others. Unexplained exhaustion. Unexplained exhaustion is a crushing weight that settles into the body and soul, draining vitality in a mysterious and profound way. For the chosen ones, whose energy is the driving force of their spiritual mission, this exhaustion is more than just physical tiredness. It's a sign that their inner light is being attacked by invisible forces. It manifests as a fatigue that no rest can alleviate, as if a shadow were constantly draining your vital essence. This exhaustion doesn't stem from intense physical efforts or sleepless nights, but arises without warning, leaving you feeling lethargic and powerless to face even the simplest tasks. It's as if a dense fog envelopes your being, obscuring your mental clarity and extinguishing your spiritual flame. The spiritual attacks that cause this exhaustion aim to weaken your resilience and extinguish your inner light. They know that by undermining your vital energy, they make you vulnerable, diverting you from your mission and obscuring your connection with the divine. Spiritual exhaustion is an insidious tactic, silently attacking, corroding your strength from within, often unnoticed until the exhaustion is deep and debilitating. Notice if the fatigue persists regardless of physical rest and self-care practices. You may feel exhausted even after a full night's sleep or find that your energy dramatically decreases during or after spiritual or creative activities. If this exhaustion is accompanied by a sense of disconnection and hopelessness, you are likely facing a spiritual attack. Therefore, it's important to allow yourself moments of quietude and solitude in natural environments, where the earth's energy can nurture and revitalize you. Visualize a healing light penetrating your being, dissolving any shadows and replenishing your vital energy. Additionally, maintain a balance between your spiritual responsibilities and moments of self-care. Engage in activities that bring joy and satisfaction, even if they are simple. Use protective crystals, such as amethyst or black tourmaline, to create an energetic defense around you. Lack of concentration and mental clarity. The lack of concentration and mental clarity, shrouded in a dense fog that seems to blur your thoughts and hinder lucidity, are concerning signs. This mental confusion isn't limited to moments of tiredness or overload. It persists like a shadow clouding the mind, making decision-making and understanding once simple matters difficult. It's as if your mind is wrapped in a veil that prevents the entry of the light of clarity, creating a sense of disorientation and frustration. Thoughts that once flowed easily now seem fragmented and disjointed, robbing you of confidence in your ability to discern the right path. Spiritual attacks often manifest in this way because a confused mind is a vulnerable mind. By sowing mental disorder, negative forces seek to weaken your ability to perceive truth and act according to your spiritual purpose. The lack of concentration and mental clarity not only hampers your performance in daily tasks but also threatens the depth of your spiritual practices. Notice if the sensation of mental fog seems to worsen during moments of spiritual introspection or activities that would normally bring peace and understanding. This persistent confusion, especially when accompanied by a sense of oppression or despondency, is a strong indication of a spiritual attack. When this happens, focus on your breathing or sacred mantras. Visualize a bright, purifying light entering through your head and filling your entire mind, clearing away any darkness or confusion. Engage in activities that promote clarity, such as physical exercise, nature walks, and writing in a spiritual journal. Also, limit exposure to sources of stress and negativity, such as disturbing news or toxic environments. Cultivate a balanced lifestyle with healthy eating, physical exercise, and adequate sleep. Feelings of isolation. This spiritual isolation is dangerous, as if an invisible barrier rises between you and the world around you, distancing you from the people you love and the practices that nurture your soul. The feeling of being alone, even when surrounded by others, is an indication that something profound is amiss. The familiarity of interactions and the joy of connections seem to fade, leaving only a sense of emptiness and despair. Negative forces separate you from your spiritual community and from people who offer support and love, to create fertile ground for doubt, fear, and hopelessness. Disconnection not only disturbs your inner peace but also hinders your search for meaning and purpose. Pay attention if your feeling of isolation persists even in your efforts to reconnect with the world. The absence of clear reasons for these feelings and the repetition of this pattern indicate that you may be facing a spiritual attack. One way to overcome this state is to find ways to serve others, as the act of giving and sharing can break down the barriers of isolation. Helping those in need, listening to others' stories, and offering your support create bonds of connection that strengthen your own soul. Remember that even in the darkest moments, you are never truly alone. The divine presence is always with you, waiting to be rediscovered. By facing and overcoming spiritual isolation, you strengthen your connection with the divine and with your community, ensuring that your light continues to shine brightly. Your journey is valuable, and your connections are essential. Every step you take to re-establish these bonds is a step towards spiritual fulfillment. Loss of interest in spiritual activities. The loss of interest in spiritual activities, those practices that once ignited a flame of purpose and connection within you, can be a profound and disturbing sign of a spiritual attack. For the chosen ones, whose journey is illuminated by faith and spiritual practice, this loss of interest is not just a matter of apathy but a warning that dark forces are trying to extinguish your inner light. When the loss of interest is natural, it may result from tiredness or changes in daily life. However, when it arises suddenly, without apparent reason, and lingers like a persistent shadow, it is likely rooted in a spiritual attempt at disconnection. Imagine your soul as a garden, where spiritual practices are the flowers that nourish and beautify your existence. A spiritual attack is like a sudden drought, withering these flowers and leaving the garden barren and desolate. Spiritual attacks aim to demotivate you because they know your practices are sources of strength and protection. Prayer, meditation, reading sacred texts, and participating in rituals are moments when you recharge spiritually, connect with higher forces, and receive divine guidance. The loss of interest in such practices is like a cold, invisible chain that extinguishes the sacred fire of your soul, leaving you vulnerable and disconnected. To distinguish whether this loss of interest is spiritual, observe how these feelings manifest. They arise without warning, like dark clouds in a clear sky, and persist despite your efforts to resume your spiritual practices. Additionally, this loss may be accompanied by a sense of emptiness, as if something vital is missing from your life. The sadness and apathy that invade your heart are signs that your soul is calling for reconnection. To reignite your spiritual interest, it's essential to re-establish your connection to what brings meaning and purpose to your life. Return to your spiritual roots, recall the moments when you felt the divine presence most intensely. Engage in new practices that may awaken your curiosity and passion, such as exploring different spiritual traditions or participating in retreats that offer new perspectives. Create a sacred space in your home where you can dedicate yourself to meditation, prayer, or spiritual reading, without distractions, allowing spiritual energy to flow freely. Remember that spirituality is a continuous journey, and moments of discouragement are opportunities to further strengthen your faith and determination. By facing and overcoming the loss of interest in spiritual activities, you reaffirm your commitment to your mission and strengthen your soul against future adversities. Allow your inner light to shine again, brighter and clearer, illuminating your path and that of those around you. Recognizing these signs is essential to protect your soul. Constant vigilance is the key to identifying when your spirituality is under attack. By remaining alert, you can act quickly to mitigate the effects and restore your spiritual balance. Always be aware of the subtleties that may indicate a spiritual attack and be prepared to face them with strength and wisdom. If this video resonated with you, Leave a like below, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so we can notify you when new content arrives. We want to take this opportunity to immensely thank our supporters who encourage us through our Buy Me a Coffee page. Your support helps us improve the quality of our content for you. If you'd like to support us too, the link to the site is pinned in the first comment. Share in the comments if you feel you're experiencing any of these divine attacks. We also suggest you continue your journey of knowledge by clicking on the video recommended on the screen. In it, you'll continue expanding your mind to discover yourself as a chosen one. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and until next time.